We're back! Oh, why is the rain hitting me upside down? Oh, that's because we are upside down. Hello and welcome to a brand new season of PSGL. I'm your host, Otago Logan. I'm joined by the lovely T-Dub06. And welcome to PlayStation Formula 2. A brand new season of it and a lot of changes in the grid. And as you can see, thank goodness, the actual Formula 1 cars are back for this season, which is great, but as you can see, it's raining very badly. I'm trying to see what is going on, but as you can see, because we're in Australia, my screen is upside down.
Yeah, torrential, I think one might call the rain. The fact that nobody's rushing out onto the track probably tells me that it is going to dry up any time now. But yes, like you said, nice to see the actual Formula 1 team icons on the left-hand side of our screen. And we do have a Ferrari coming out. Who is that going to be? Is that ASRT Christian
Sauber
returning once again from last season? I believe it is.
Yes,
we've got a kick Sauber that's got out first.
It's McKellany who's making his way out. I think this is actually McKiller NL, as in Netherlands. So I'm just going to call him Killer for this one. And we've got Leonardo in the Ferrari coming out. So this is, of course, Albert Park, a 5.3 kilometre circuit first used in the 1996 Formula 1 World Championship season opener, with the previous race being the last race of the 1995 season being in Adelaide, which was just along the road. Yeah, right. So, as you can see, it's really difficult to get out. Albert Park has been host to many famous moments, of course. Mark Webber's 5th place in the 2002 race. 1-2 for Ferrari. My goodness, Leonardo, sir. He's having a bit of a fun time. This is not Melbourne Drift. If he's not careful,
Give me anxiety doing that. Oh, my days.
Do you believe collisions are off?
Yes, I think we are still running no collisions to avoid anyone taking any cheeky slipstream down some of the straights. Although with the torrential rain that we've got, I think people will be trying to space themselves out a little bit more. And you can already see on the left-hand side as well, some people have selected the intermediate tyres. Nobody out on track on the inters, but obviously just biding their time and waiting for all this rain to subside.
Yeah, I'm not actually seeing anything where the collisions are off, but I'll take your word for it. So yeah, season 38. We have 18 drivers, well 19 now. Diogo Silva's joined us. We're not sure on Lawrence if he's going to join. We might have to get a late-minute replacement. They would have to start at the back, of course, if they don't make it in qualifying in time. As you can see, we're on board with Frank Jashorny, who's making his way now. McKillany making his way through on that Kick Sauber, which is very green. Of course, it's not actually the main sponsor. We can't mention the main sponsor for obvious reasons. But he's making his way through the adjusted section from 2022, just right next to the golf course, before making his way down to this quick left-right hander. Yes, collisions are off, thank goodness. And being in the wet, it's going to be extremely difficult to get perfect on this. Cuts the corner as you do. Down along DRS zone. One of 4 DRS zones, but of course being disabled, being wet. Then another adjusted corner from 2022. Very tight, getting in there. And with 3 corners left to go, the third to last corner, he makes his way out of, and then there'll be the final left and right through to the finish. To set at times, you can see sliding all over the place, and that's what heavy rain can do to your car in Australia. It's a very bumpy track as well, being a temporary road course. And he sets the bar at 129.094. I'm sure that's going to come down. You seeing anything else on track, T?
Well, we have got people coming out on those intermediate tyres now. Leonardo 0.4 seconds quicker. A couple of people pointing out in the chat, we've got the reigning F3 champion getting promoted, Soapbox, in that V-Carb car. I'll be very interested to see how they get on. Currently on the full wet tyres. The majority favouring those blue stripe tyres as the other V-Carb of Coolman slots into 3rd place on a 29.2. Be interesting to see how much faster the Inters are at this stage. The fact people have gone out on those green stripe tyres probably says to us that they are the tyre you want to be on at this stage of the qualifying session.
Yeah, I'm just checking the timings now as Chris Rebel comes through. Oh, that's a very bad entry into the 3rd corner there. He's going to lose a lot of time there. Oh yeah, he's really struggling. Let's go to Yashir Saki. You see, it's much more difficult, being there's less tread on the tyres. We've got, those beveled inside the sea, just swiveling all over the place. How about these turns? Yeah, much more difficult, but he's controlling it very nicely. Massive power slide out. And Epic Veil goes to the top by about half a tenth, and then there as it goes, Yakosaki really struggling to get any grip whatsoever. Sergioli right behind him as well, also on green inters. And you can see, look at that, I think he's in the Fast and Furious Melbourne Drift. Oh wait, I've already
100%.
used that joke.
Oh, and he's struggling for grip again around the final corner, struggling to get that right foot to the floor. How close are we going to be? It's pretty competitive, actually, at 28.8. That's a solid time. Wow, look at that from Sergio.
Well, okay, yeah, scratch that. Go to the greens, people. The Haas there, now backed by Toyota. Not yet, as you can see there. Toyota Gazoo Racing, the 5-time winners, I think. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Yes, 5-time winners of Le Mans. 2 of them by Fernando Alonso, whoever he is.
Some Spanish guy, I've heard. Yeah. Toyota, though, not the best pedigree in F1, do they? Coming in the early 2000s, dropping out at the end of 09.
Yeah.
Only a handful of podiums and no race victories for someone like Toyota is not ideal at all.
Is that Glock?
Is that Glock?
No, I'm a very peaceful man. Christian there getting up to 4th. For those of you not in the know, this is not Christian Horner. Why would he drive a Ferrari anyways?
He's too busy moaning, Christian Horner.
Hey, can't be biased. Christian Horner, Christian, now you said it, darn, making his way through. He has competed in F2 before, I believe. And he's making his way through in that HP branded car. And it's quite a weird sponsor. I thought they'd choose Coca-Cola, being red, and the same shade of red they use on the Ferrari.
Yeah, I mean, what were your thoughts on the Miami livery? Personally, I was not a fan of
Should
that.
Should it be all blue?
Yeah, they shouldn't have 50-50'd it. I've been watching Spanias coming through the far chicane as you start the final sector. Went purple to the timing charts through the middle sector, but had a massive wobble exceeding track limits over the curb, and that is that lap ruined. Coolman jumping up into 3rd place once again, 2nd lap on the wet tyres. Solid time with a 28.4. Got to point out Fraser as well in that kick Sauber, 28.1 on the wet compound tyres. That's the fastest time we've seen on those blue stripe tyres so far, and by a decent chunk as well.
Absolutely. It's quite difficult to see what is better right now. I would imagine it would be the Inters right now. It is a really mixed bag, as you can see on your timing tower. Cool, man. Oh, my. Even on the wets, they struggle. It is going to get wetter, though.
I mean, the rain is still hammering down, but the fact that people are putting on those Inters does probably say that it is getting better. Zane not improving in the first sector on that set of intermediate tyres, down in 17th on a 30.4, not a representative time so far. Sergio's invalidated on the in-lap. Who else is out there at the moment?
Coleman
Jan in the Aston Martin. Yeah, Jan's invalidated as well. So people really struggling to keep it within the track limits.
Diogo Silva's kept it in, no, and you see, oh my, massive struggle out of the final corner. Should mention no one's pitting and going in and out because these tyres will last an eternity and will probably get better with age, apparently. So Diogo Silva going 3rd there.
Yeah, you do also remember in the rain, you want to build yourself up. It's very difficult just to go out like you do in dry qualifying. Do one flying lap, all guns blazing. You've got to just build up your speed, build up your confidence. That's what a lot of the drivers are going to be doing. I would imagine most of them are fueled for maybe 4 or 5 laps.
Yeah, I can see closely up with Epic Veil. He's got like 5 laps of fuel on board. And Diogo Silva, what's happened?
Still seeing people struggling on these Inters. It's dry enough for them, but it's still not comfortable at all. It's George in that Mercedes, not George Russell, just George, struggling massively for grip. You've got to really attack the curves around this track to find a lot of lap time. The problem is, in the wet, those curves are incredibly slippery, so they can be your friend, but they can very much be your foe as well.
You see in the back of that car, he's sliding out, and now he's, don't mention this corner to George, coming through the midsection now. That would be turn 7, they're in turn 8, coming through to, well, this should be turn 9, but they don't count it as a turn, weirdly enough. This is 9 and 10. As Soapbox goes to the top on 4-lap-old wets. 3 tenths ahead.
Very impressive. That's a hugely impressive time on the wet compound tyres. Did you just see George tapping the barrier going through the 11-12 chicane there as well? Big tail snap coming out of turn number 13. Yeah. Impossible to get the power down. So these intermediate tyres really not working well on that Silver Arrows car. Again, locking the rears this time into the penultimate corner.
Well, he's still going to pull through and get a lap on the board. Very difficult conditions now, I'd say, for the intermediate tyres. But he does go second. Is it getting better? It doesn't look like it's getting better. It's still pummeling it down with rain as he goes off the track briefly, but he's got another few laps in him. As you can see, about 3 laps of fuel remain in the tank to the third corner. 7 minutes to go in the session. Remember, of course, the driver that sets the pole position with the fastest lap will get a bonus point. So it's basically for the championship lead, in my word. It is
I've just seen another
difficult.
car. Just seeing another car nearly end up in the wall is Fraser, who at one stage was quickest, now been bumped down to 4th. First lap on the intermediate tyres, playing with fire, massively tapped the barrier, going through the what is sometimes flat out, definitely not in the wet, turn number 5. Luckily not to invalidate as well, because it was all 4 wheels off the circuit in the grass nearly.
Oh, and Leonardo's gone to the top. This may change a lot, by the way, the whole time. Soapbox still in second. I think Jashorny's just moved up to 4th. Yep. And Fraser, my goodness, he's had a horrendous turn there, and he's went off, touched the gravel, and that's cost him this lap, I believe. He's still going to probably shrug it on and get a time on the board. Or is he?
Absolutely.
No, he's bailed. He's bailed. So
absolutely clattered that sausage curb.
Yeah, I thought they'd get rid of those.
Apparently not.
I wonder what these numbers the drivers have got. That's 73. We don't have like a formal numbering system. In all honesty, they should allow them to use the F1 cars' numbers, but you can't in this, which I think is very unfortunate. What if we want to choose 99 or no, 47 or 44, etc. No, it's Lewis Hamilton's number, but still. This is a fictional, well, not fictional. In the F1 world, this is not the actual league, so, you know. But Finley coming down to what's he going to set? He's going to set a 7th time. Everyone's on the intros now, by the way.
Yeah, and look how close it is as well.
Yeah, it is. It is starting to get really close. As we show the leader time, the top 10 are within half a second and a thousandth. A half and a thousandth of a second.
Wow. And considering everybody's been setting their times at different points in the session, where some people have had worse weather conditions, some people have had better weather conditions. Epic Vale now lowers the benchmark by a further 10th of a second, 27.5 on those intermediate tyres. Oh, the Haas struggling for grip on that in-lap, coming through turn number 2. But the benchmark is going to continue to be lowered. Jan now jumps up onto the front row as well. Oh. It's a Haas 1-2, everybody, because Sergio once again smashes the benchmark, as he did 5 or so minutes ago. 27.2 the time for everybody to chase now.
Yeah, so as you can see now, it is a quarter of a second gap between first and second. I don't know what you want, leader or fastest lap? Which one is better?
Oh, I usually like fastest lap, just so you can see...
Yeah.
Big clusters of drivers. We've got a lot of drivers on a 27.8 at the moment. Santero, one of those in the Williams, just jumping up into 9th place on a 27.854 behind Franek on a 27.845.
Now, Sergioli is actually run out of fuel pretty much. He needs to come in and do another lap. Then get back out there, and you only have like 1 or 2 laps to do. Maybe just the 1 lap. So they've got to get into the pits quick, because they would definitely want to set more laps if the conditions are improving. So, is Epic Vale going to come in? Yes, he is. I can't really blame him doing that, as long as he gets into the pits safely.
A lot of drivers bailing, actually, on their flying laps. Coolman was a couple of tenths up, but deciding he's probably going to get a better lap if he comes back in, maybe puts a new set of intermediate tyres on. Obviously, these guys know what the conditions are going to be like in the race, so they can maybe tweak their setup slightly for for a dry race or for a wet race, we obviously don't know in the comms box, so we're just speculating, of course.
So basically, all of these previous runs have just been banker laps, because look at how Diogo Silva is doing. He's improved by over a second. That means he's sure to get provisional pole. So basically, all these runs have been for nothing. Just bankers, just in case everything goes wrong. Oh no, Diogo! You've invalidated.
Big mistake, but he's going to have time to go again.
Yeah, he'll definitely have time to do 2 more laps.
TRT Zane hasn't got a particularly competitive time, as there is our 20th driver, is Janil, joining with 2.5 minutes left to go.
Can he get into the car quick?
Hopefully he can. He can make the start of the race. Zane on a 28.7 and invalidates straight away through turn number 1. Going to only get one more opportunity with 2 minutes left to go. Turn 1, I think we're going to be seeing a lot of track limits penalties come the race, especially when they're pushing flat out on tyres that are going to be starting to struggle after 4 or 5 laps.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris Rebel starting a lap. He is yet to set a time. My goodness me. Saves it through turn 2. That could have been the end of the world for him in this session, as Janil is there. But has he got enough time? He has to put a setup on. And remember, well, he doesn't have to do the setup because, they're going to get the opportunity to change it. So he's still there. I don't think he might have enough time. He's there, but is he going to get there? He needs to get there within a minute 30. He's not going to do it. He's not going to do it. He's too far down the line as well, so it will not happen. Sergioli is going to set another benchmark, and it's a 1:26.9, so yeah, definitely faster. Wow. Soapbox out there struggling through the car park section of the track. Yeah, everyone is out here, and they should get to the line in time. Janil will not be able to. Well, he's there, but he's not going to have enough time. If he cuts the corners, he's going to be in trouble. He got there too late.
Just want to point something out, which I think everyone's going to find slightly strange. Finlay, currently P11, has gone out again on the wet tyres. Didn't fancy the inters on this final flying lap. I wonder if that's a mistake or if it's intentional, maybe?
Look at all these cars. Good thing there's collisions off, because this would be... oh dear. That's one massive merge of cars. They've merged 4 cars together. And now they've created a super duper unbeatable machine. In your dreams. Finlay on the wet tyres. The rogue wet tyre runner. That's everyone that should be on their laps right now. Now, is Janil cheating? No. At least he's not cheating. He's not going to get there in time. He's definitely not going to get there in time.
Well, at least he's playing in the rule, but Epic Vale leaving absolutely nothing to chance. Meanwhile, through the first set, to find a 10th and a half, but he's all over the place in that Haas, trying to eclipse his teammate at the top of the timing charts. Needs to find 0.6 of a second, pushing incredibly hard.
My word, I've never seen someone push harder than... Oh, he's hit the wall! Yeah, he's pushing way too hard. Somehow he's keeping it together. Now, who's going to cross the line first? Well, it's Janil, but of course he's not got one. There's his teammate. Janil will have to start at the back, which was quite predictable. But here comes Yasser Saki now. I'm sure this time is going to go right down. Second, he can't even beat Sergioli's time. Sorry if I'm flashing through. Zane gets only half a second improvement. Disappointing. So he'll be in 16th for now. But now here comes one of the Haas's. What's going to be done? It's Epic Vale that goes to the top by just under a 10th. As Spanius is retired in the pit lane, by the way. Now Chris Rebel, what's he going to do? He only manages 6th. Who else is there? Is that the Williams? No, it is the kick off Michelini. And he can only manage 6th. Leonardo can only manage 6th. Finlay goes up to 5th in those wets. It's bizarre, but it looks like that the Haas is going to take a 1-2 unless there's some intervention at the end. Still at the top are the Haas's. Soapbox goes third. Can Jan take it? No, he's pit. And no, that's it. Epic Vale, Sergioli get a Haas 1-2.
What a late lap from Epic Vale, was going at 100%, and he pulled off quite the sterling lap. Sergio not setting another one at the end of the session, maybe didn't have the fuel or the tyres left, jumping into the pits. Reigning F3 champion doing well as well, qualifying in position number 3, pulling out a late lap that was very, very important because they were down in, I think, 16th or 17th. But the two Hasses, dominant performance, a tenth separating them, and then a further 2.5 tenths back to Soapbox in P3. George doing well in that Mercedes, Fraser recovering from a few whoopsies out there. Saki didn't set too many times, but got one in that counted. ASRT, Christian Santera, Diogo Silva, and Finlay on the wet compound tyres, rounding out your top 10.
And the bottom 10 is led by Gian in the Aston Martin, then Leonardo, his compatriot, in 12th, McKiller and Nevin Nye will be in the 7th row. The two Red Bulls will be in the 8th, Spanias and Zane will be in the 9th, and at the back, Coleman and Yanil, who didn't set a time.
Surprised to see Spanias that low, to be honest. I don't know whether that McLaren made a mistake on their final run or whether just struggle for grip in those changeable conditions, the conditions that somebody like Jenson Button would revel in.
Words coming from Finlay, accidentally switched and leading to the pits to the wrong tyres. This isn't the start, by the way. We are going to be restarting momentarily, so please ignore what you are seeing, because this is not going to be the start. You're probably going to see everyone practice start or crash into each other. But we do have sponsors. We can't do this league without our lovely sponsors.
No, we cannot. First of all, main title sponsor of PSGL, GT Omega. If you head over there, you can check out some sim racing equipment to try and get your hands on. If you use the code PSGL at checkout, that'll give you 5% as a nice little discount for you. And just to whet your appetite even more, don't be worried about this start. It's the faux start, we like to call it. As you can see, the Haas jumping it. But Sim Racing Centre, SRC, if you want some setups, some strategy advice or some potential driver coaching, head over to there and use that same code PSGL for 10% off at checkout.
Lovely sponsors, and the safety car is out. Just doing laps to track. We saw the safety car for the first time in Formula 1 in what feels like 55 years.
About 6 months, maybe even.
And it both came in the in the North American continent. You can't park there.
Can't park there, sir.
But Verstappen can, I guess.
Who won the faux Grand Prix, by the way? I didn't manage to catch it.
I did. I'm still standing.
I'm still standing. It was one of our many Italians. It was TRT Zane from 18th on the grid.
It was Aston Martin too, so it was basically Fernando Alonso. Que ganderes magique. That means if you watch Really 3D, you'll know. The reason why it's 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's what they award now for only doing like 2 laps. They shouldn't be awarding any points if they don't complete 25%, in my opinion.
Is that an actual thing?
Yeah.
The 6, 4, 3, 2, 1?
Yeah,
I have no
they
idea.
changed it in 2022. It used to be half points, and of course, Belgium happened. There's no race yet. They awarded 12.5 points to the winner. It shouldn't be 12.5 points. It should have been 0 for everyone.
The more you know.
They should have awarded half points in Japan, but no, they awarded full laps because they had the clause saying only if the race is stopped and cannot be resumed. But if it reached a finish, full points awarded. Did they change that on purpose in 2022? That's 2022-23 was a dark time for F1.
What are your thoughts, though, on the changes to the circuit that did come in a few years ago? Personally, I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I think it's much more fun, and you get bigger run into the chicane. And then there's more overtaking opportunities at turn 11.
Yeah, I think the problem with the Australian Grand Prix is it lost a little bit of its allure by not being the season opener.
Well, season opener next year.
Yes, it is.
I think it's because of Ramadan. But even then, I think they should have all the Middle Eastern races at the end of the season. Like, even if it's all for quadruple header, I'm sure they can afford it. After all, they used to do quadruple, maybe quintuple headers. They did races in consecutive weeks in MotoGP. Do it all the time in NASCAR.
That is very true. I mean, the season should start in Australia, finish in Brazil, and then just fill in whatever you like in between.
Yeah, but that means you'd have to go from Austria to Mexico to the Middle East and then Brazil. Why don't we just go to the US and then to... Personally, I'd reverse the Austria, Mexico, Brazil. Make it Brazil, Mexico, US, Las Vegas, then the Middle Eastern races.
I mean, they can improve the calendar quite a lot, can't they? Let's be honest.
I'd get rid of Saudi, but they can come back if they have Qadiyah. I'm actually looking forward to the Qadiyah circuit. Yes, the Qadiyah circuit is one of the big projects the Saudis are doing. After all, the money they get from their oil is pretty beneficial. Oh yeah, they could go Hockenheim. Yeah, the racetrack is scheduled to open in 2027.
That is quite a while.
They're also going to have a Six Flags park, even though I thought that was only in Texas. Apologies to the Venga boys. The Aquawabia Water Park. It's part of the Saudi Vision 2030 to diversify the Saudi economy. No background needed for that. There's Google for a reason. It's quite hard to do in a warm country. It's like 40 degrees Celsius during the day.
Yeah. I mean, that's dream calendar discussion. We've probably got another 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, dream calendar. Have a race in Antarctica. If you're going to have a race in hot countries, going to have a race in cold countries. Yeah, you can race in Antarctica, and the crowd's just penguins.
I'd love to see a race in Finland. We have so many amazing Finnish drivers, but...
Well, there is only one now. Yeah, they have to... the pit stop, they have to get into a sauna. And don't say how. They have to get in with their race suit as well.
And the car.
Yeah. Sorry, Bottas. No, the car can't go in the sauna. It won't fit.
No, let's not leave the car out.
Yeah, it's already warm enough. Yeah, it's not the only Middle Eastern development project. There's Kuwait Vision 2035, Egypt Vision 2030, and United Arab Emirates Vision 2021. Why do they need to develop the UAE? They're good enough. Where's the UK's development project? Nowhere to be seen. I mean, you had that HS2 thing, but I don't think that's making any right. I mean, we need to look at the Shinkansen in Japan. Or just move to Japan, I guess.
I feel like politics isn't necessarily a thing to discuss in the interlude between qualifying and the race.
It's satire.
Yeah, but you're getting into murky water with that one, Chief.
Fair enough. But those two who are not British will not understand. And we all like trains.
It's quite
good
fun
trains.
to laugh at Britain.
Again, anything can be considered politics these days. Trains are fun. I haven't raised one in ages. I was on a train. About a week ago. And they're getting very expensive now, unfortunately.
Inflation. Yeah, I actually don't... When was the last time I was on a train? I think maybe sometime during the summer. Might even be before then. It's been quite a while. We are just waiting for Diogo Silva to select a car, everybody. And then we will be underway.
Wait, select a car?
Select a car.
But they already have. Oh, Diogo Silva hasn't. Yeah, but he wasn't the right car. And Diogo Silva, there we go. Right, we should be getting ready now.
Lovely.
Well, the rules did say inappropriate discussion. I think talking about risque things are definitely wrong, but you know.
Well, let's get a prediction in from, people that are watching. If you want to throw a prediction in there for who you think's going to win, we'll do it as well, and then we can either look like geniuses or complete idiots by the time podium? We get to the end of our 29 lap. Pardon?
Soapbox podium.
Soapbox podium. Not a bad chat. The two Hasses were miles ahead, but what we saw a lot of last season was qualifying pace and race pace didn't necessarily correlate very well with each other. There were some people that were rapid over one lap that weren't so quick over the course of a 20-plus lap Grand Prix, which is going to be very interesting to see if that is the case again. But I think the dominance from the Hasses, I think it could be surprisingly a duel between the two teammates. And James obviously agrees with me. We will certainly watch out for Epic Fail. Mark my words. I was very impressed. I think us two have seen him before, haven't we, Logan?
What?
Epic Fail.
Epic Fail. I think we have. I can't remember exactly. It is sunny. Thank goodness. I was getting tired of the rain hitting my head upside down. See, we're outside in a commentary box, so it's quite difficult to adjust to the upside down nature of this place. I can still see when I say cars are turning left, they're actually turning right.
I have to say, look at these people cheering in the boxes above the garage. They're absolutely going for it.
Yeah, that's the commentary box, guys. Stop being biased.
That us?
No, that's not us. That's a different commentary box. That's probably the Italian one.
Oh, and the guy in the red shirt above the Mercedes, both hands in the air.
All right, here we go. A brand new season is underway. GL. They come down to the first corner. It will be the two Hasses that lead down. Now, what impact is Soapbox going to make? Is there going to be a lead change between the Hasses? Yes, there is. Sergioli takes the lead, and Soapbox might be losing it as well. George Ansel on the outside of turn one. A brilliant move by him. But now the two Hasses are going to battle again. This might be murky waters for the Haas pair, as that's Yasser Saki and Soapbox battling for fourth place. And Yasser Saki on the outside can't get it done, and that's a bit of a sliver from Soapbox, but he managed to hold on. But there's going to be another opportunity for Yasser Saki to make a pass. Chris Rebels made up a place against Spanias on the outside there, and coming through, it's still the two Hasses ahead of George Ansel and Soapbox as well. Saki, will he find a chance to get back at him? But the two Hasses getting very close to each other again. Leonardo gets up to 9th. But it doesn't look like Yasser Saki's going for it on the outside. This is a dangerous place to do it. And he's still holding on, but it'll be Soapbox that gets it. Now the kick Sauber of Fraser's going to try and make it a move. Goes on the left, goes on the right, but can't do it. So he'll stay in 6th for now.
Excellent racing on lap number 1, and somehow all 20 drivers still pointing in the right direction. Bit of a lock-up into the penultimate corner for the Mercedes of George, followed actually by the V-Cub of Soapbox, but it's still the two Hasses that lead the Grand Prix, but they're in the opposite order to what they were on the grid. It's Sergio leading Epic Vale, although they are very close down into turn 1.
Yeah, the bit of lagging from Soapbox as well. As I can see, he was lagging all over the straight, and he's finally been passed by both Saki and Fraser. And now Christian's going to get involved too. Christian going for 6th place on the outside as there's a mistake from Soapbox. And they're going through the car park side by side, but he can't get the move done. He'll have a lot of opportunities yet to go. It's a 29-lap race, as it will still be Yasser Saki leading this train. 2.5 seconds separates 3rd and 4th. Already the top 3 are making their moves. DRS is now enabled though, so they're going to close up now. Will it be Epic Vale that closes up and tries to make a move into the next few corners after these ones, of course? And Yasser Saki has been passed by Fraser. That is Fraser up into 4th place, and now he's going to be putting the hammer down as the two Hasses. They're going to change positions, are they? No, they're not. They stay in formation as Soapbox. Look at all this battling here. That's a free wide, and that's a dangerous territory. Oh no! Oh dear! Oh no! That's bad. That is very bad.
Disaster. Yeah, virtual safety car.
That is McKillany out of the race. Leonardo has damage. And was that Jan involved? Yeah, Jan dived down the inside, going free wide into the very sharp turn 11. And it was only going to cause more problems along the way. And as you can see now, Leonardo's come into the pits. I'm checking who else got damage. It is a virtual safety car, so the field will have to slow down for safety reasons, of course. They call it safety car. Is that damage on the Mercedes? No, it's not damage on the Mercedes. I am trying to scan for any damage on the cars. It's impossible to do with the onboard lap angle. It was quite a scary incident. It was lucky that only one car went out of the race. Leonardo's come out with a brand new wing, and he will have to catch up a lot because, of course, this is not a full safety car. They won't bunch the pack up and neutralise. They'll stay the same gaps as they were, but look how close these two are at the top. You've got to make sure they don't break the rules or they'll get a drive-through penalty. Can't go above the delta. The delta says a plus a minute 34. That is probably wrong. It probably has to be way lower than that. DRS enabled now. No one gets a penalty, thank goodness. So the race is back on again. And is that another move from Jan? Jan really being quite a menace already, I'd have to say. Already fighting hard, has caused an incident already. He doesn't want to do another one. Can't really blame Leonardo for the incident earlier. He was probably playing pinball out of turn 11. The top three coming up close again. Now, that is the battle between Yasser Saki and Fraser. And Yasser Saki has taken 4th place.
Absolutely, the Alpine finally getting back ahead of the Kick Sauber, although with the gap to the Mercedes in front, I think this massive group of cars could be dueling and swapping places for the next 25 laps if we don't see a safety car. A couple of moves for position further down, another Alpine on the offensive. It's Janno trying to swing it around the outside of TRT Zane and does it successfully. And now Franek trying to get involved, the Aston Martin just a little bit too far ahead. But what's that? A little bit of a wobble for Janno coming through the very next corner and drops back behind the Aston Martin.
Yeah, Janno down 15th now. He started in last, but still doing pretty decent for a driver that's only done 4 laps a day. Fraser has already made 3rd place. Let's go back to that, shall we? Look at that move from Yasser Saki going into turns 9 and 10. No holds barred, takes position, and now Christian's going to try and take 6th place. They're closing up again. This could be really dangerous if they're not careful. And Christian goes wide and will have to back out before he hits the gravel. Great reactions from him regardless. Look how close these drivers are. It's only lap number 4, and these drivers aren't given an inch.
Feels like an IndyCar race, doesn't it, with the amount of DRS training or slipstream training that we're seeing. It's now George setting the fastest lap of the race. The top 3 have absolutely checked out, but at the moment, Epic Vale seems pretty content sitting in behind his teammate, but he's got to be careful because that silver arrow is all in the mirrors of that second Haas car, and I think George Mansell will be looking to apply the blowtorch to both of these guys. He gets very close down into turn number 2. I wonder if he did just tap the back of Epic Vale,
That was nearly an epic fail for Epic Fail. He got tapped at behind, but luckily keeps it together. I don't think any damage from George Ansell's car. No, it's okay. So they keep racing at full throttle. Great racing we're seeing here. Bit argy-bargy, that could be racing sometimes. All of them coming through. Half a second, separating top through. Make it 4 attempts. Might be 3 attempts soon, and I think there's going to be a move here from Epic Fail. He takes the lead again. I'm sure that was choreographed. They want to make sure they keep that 1-2 intact, so they're going to do a switcheroo for defensive purposes, but that means Epic Vale will have the DRS, but Sergio won't, and now he's vulnerable, but he stays ahead for the meantime. 2 drivers working in tandem, now that is teamwork.
But you've got to say, though, George's pace is absolutely outstanding considering he's on the hard tyres and the Haas is in front, both on the medium, sticking to the pair of them like glue. 5 seconds the gap now back to Fraser with Yasser Saki very much still in hot pursuit, and then still Soapbox, who's also on the hard compound tyre, sat just behind. Still more jostling for positions. Even 9, Finlay debating the final spot inside the points paying positions.
Sorry, Chris Rebels had a massive crash out of the final corner. That was a bad one, as you can see there. right in the background, there was a big crash. He turned around, and that is the end of Chris Rebel's race, and the safety car is fully out now. This is good news for Leonardo. He can cash up now. But my word, what happened, right, is Finley and Evan Nye were battling for 10th and 11th, and Chris Rebel just spun out of control. He just seemed to have lost it, trying to put the traction down. Too much traction, and spun around, hitting the wall, and that ending his race. And now, as you see, they're all going full throttle, even though it is a safety car. Further, it's will to maintain positive delta, but apparently not. They're going at full throttle. So, yeah, safety car.
Which does, of course, bring that group back towards the leading trio who are checked out. This doesn't really help the drivers on the hard compound tyres because they're obviously not going to pit under the safety car and try to go to the end on a set of medium tyres. Could drivers on the mediums currently try and stretch them 20 plus laps to the end? It's going to be a tall order, but the Hasses are going to be in a little bit of trouble because Sergio is going to have to queue behind his teammate.
Oh, yeah, I think they broke on purpose to minimise the effect of the double stack. This means George gets the lead now. Of course, he won't pit. He's on hard tyres, so I wouldn't imagine him pitting. But this does mean hard tyres for those pitting. And luckily for Sergioli, I do believe he's still behind his teammate. Yes, he is still behind his teammate.
And Fraser, who was on the hard compound tyres, jumping in for a set of mediums. So obviously thinking there's going to be at least one more safety car in this race because taking those 23 laps is going to be challenging, I think is the best way to describe that. But it's a very different looking top five now with Jan, who's been in the wars a little bit, assuming second place ahead of even Nice, Spanias in fourth, and then Zane, who didn't qualify particularly well. And then you've got the two Haas cars. Sergio managing to choreograph that double stack absolutely perfectly because he didn't drop behind the Kicks Albert or Fraser crucially.
Yeah, Leonardo, who has pit, is now going to have to make a long trundle round the entirety of Albert Park. He's 21 seconds down Coolman, who is down in 17th. For the position changes, he started P19, just to mention. Spanias, who has not pit, I believe. No, not pit. The top five had not pit. Everyone else has. Of course, even now, Spanias and Zane right up there now. George Ansell is leading this race, and he's on the hard tyres, but he's at a pace disadvantage.
He was absolutely rapid before the safety car came out, though, so if he can maybe try and put a second between himself and TRT Yan, which is going to be difficult with how strong the DRS is, but if he can do it before that DRS is enabled, when the safety car comes in, he could be looking very, very pretty indeed. We also have to wonder how quickly the Haas cars can fight their way through the drivers that haven't come into the pits. Those 6-lap-old hard tyres won't be particularly slow.
No. Just mention hello, James Head. Good to see you. James Head, of course, our fellow commentator. He will be commentating PSF1, which will be in about 10 minutes. With Jessica Ball.
Exciting prospect that is. Start of a new season in the top tier.
Yes, of course, with the ever lovely Jessica Ball in the commentary box. The best of the best on this console will come to blows at this very track. We're here with basically the challengers, the challenger division to the elites, as they say in some of the darts league. You know, they call it a challenge tour for the up and coming players, and that's created some grand champions such as Luke Humphries and Rob Cross. But not Luke Littler. He didn't have to go through that. Well, he went through the development tour. That's a youth tour, you see. Not a challenger tour. But we're going to get underway soon. It should be the last lap under the safety car. And George Ansell will have to lead this field away and hopefully get away from the pack as fast as he can.
Watch out for Fraser on the restart. Those medium tyres are going to be very quick in the opening couple of laps. If he can disrupt the teamwork that the Haas drivers have had going on so far in this race, he could be a real thorn in their side. And I don't know, the Kicks Albert could be finding himself inside the top three very, very shortly if he gets those medium tyres working.
Well, let's find out, because George Ansell's going to be getting us underway for lap 9. We'll have 21 laps to go when we get into the pits. So George Ansell has it all to do. Try to keep Jan at bay. He's slowing right down. He's not giving anything away. But he speeds up and gets it underway for lap number 9. And already, Evan Nye is closing up to Jan in front. Jan is well closing up. Both these drivers on 8-lap-old hards coming out of the corner. Anything further down, sir?
Couple of places swapping, notably at the back. We could have the lead changing hands though, because Jan having a look around the outside down into turn number 3. George has defended it nicely though. Little switchback attempt from the Aston Martin, gets the better run, but doesn't quite have the space.
There is a switchback happening between Fraser and Sergioli, but Sergioli can't get past Fraser. Fraser now in P7, and he's on the better pace medium tyres, 2 laps old. Well, pretty much 1 lap old. They didn't use much half it when coming in for the pits. So Soapbox there as well. Soapbox started in P19. He's already in P10, and he's already pit. So he's on a roll. So is Fraser. Now he's lost position to Sergioli. Here comes Soapbox right behind. Through the corner, he gets past Yasser Saki. Now he's on the P9. He's made up 10 positions already as second place. And now what is happening here? My word, what are you doing? It's lap 9, and they're all fighting for the lead. Jan is in the lead. Ansel is down to 4th, maybe 5th, if Spanish can make the move, but he can't. So he remains in 4th now, and that is Sergioli. What in the world? Is he trying to make the move? Yes, he is on the outside. Bangs wheels, coming on the outside. And he does make the move. How has he done that?
Incredible opportunities by absolutely everyone in this field. Epic Vale not going to lie down, because he's now up into 2nd place after being 6th on the restart. The Hasses, they've been split up, and one of them has certainly charged towards the front. It was George Ansell, just got caught out. Jan went round the outside into the 11-12 chicane, and then everybody else filed through, relegating that Mercedes down into 4th and probably a little bit lower.
And Soapbox is trying to get P8, but he can't do it through the car park. So he'll have to stay in a position for now. Finley and Christian also battling for 11th position, 1 away from the points. Remember, top 10 get points, the winner getting 16 points. And it could be 16 points if Epic Vale can get past Jan, who will only get 12 if he finishes 2nd, coming round. And Epic Vale back into the lead of this race. Further down, Spaniards is trying to get a position on George Ansell and demoting further down, but he can't do it right now, but he's going to get to DRS, who is going to close up and capitalise on this battle. Here we go again. It looks like it's going to be a move from Sergioli into the inside off turn number 11, and he gets through. Further back, Yasser Saki trying to get back past Zane. Oh, Zane's had a snap, but somehow saves it. Behind Finley and Christian, trying to fight position as there's 3 wide into the corner. That's Diego Salver, Santero and Jashorny fighting for 13th place, as now Fraser hits the hammer down and gets past Spanias. Spanias now further down to 7th. The medium tyres are running riot ahead of the drivers.
Went wide though through turn number 1, and going to be a second bite of the cherry, not just for Spanish but for Soapbox to try and get involved as well. Can't attack the kick Sauber, but the reigning F3 champion slides that V-Cub up the inside and pushes Spanias further down the order.
Soapbox by name, Soapbox by nature. He wants to make all these moves, so he gets up on his Soapbox and goes for it anyway. He's now behind his other medium tyre runner of Fraser. Meanwhile, Sergio is going to try and get back past the Mercedes of George Ansell, and he right and truly does. Now Soapbox is going to try and make a move on the other medium tyre runner. Spanias is trying to get through. Evan Nye loses position to Sergioli. I can't keep up with it. So much going on, T-Dub.
2 moves in the space of just 1 straight, and the Hasses are now starting to reform that formation we saw 1 and 3 at the moment, but I don't think it's going to be a long time until we see Sergio getting past the Aston Martin of TRT Jan and reassuming that position in that Haas 1-2 at the moment. Even I doing well to hold on to 4th ahead of George, and then come the 2 medium shod runners of Fraser and Soapbox. Surprised that Fraser hasn't managed to make his way through this field as quickly as the likes of the 2 Haas cars, because at one stage Fraser was ahead of Sergio.
Yes, he was, but not anymore, and that is that a mistake from Fraser? It looks like George Ansell got well ahead of him out to the first corner. And now there's another battle happening here, and that is Spanias, who has been forced wide by Finley. Spanias just falling by the wayside now. Christian in the Ferrari is going to be coming behind him as well. So it's going to be out of the points soon. Of course, he will have to pit later, but he's probably going to be disadvantaged because they had the benefit of a safety car. He didn't. He stayed out. So he's going to have to pit, and he's going to lose pretty much 20 seconds. And now here comes Christian on the outside. This is for 10th place, and he's there. Further up, we have a change for the lead. It's a free wide fight for the lead. And Jan is in the lead ahead of Bale and Sergioli. But it's going to get even hotter coming into turn number 11. Who's going to be ahead? When they get into the corner, the two Hasses surround the Aston Martin, but the Aston Martin gets there free wide. Oh dear, that is very dangerous. And now it's chaos behind as the Williams suffers. Evan Nye gets through. Oh no!
Oh no.
Dear, it's happened again. They got too close for comfort, and it's another safety car. 10-second penalty for Yasser Saki for the collision with Soapbox, and
That's
the front wing of George Ansel is gone. Look at all these pits. They're all coming in now. My word, I need to catch my breath back.
I did catch what was happening there. It was Fraser going up the inside of two cars, but he clattered the sausage curb like we saw him do in qualifying. Then there was just a complete cluster between himself, the Mercedes of George. We had even Nye in there as well. It was just absolute chaos. Yes, Isaki was the one that got the penalty, but was, to be fair, the complete innocent bystander in all of that.
Yeah, you got a 10-second penalty. Quite consistent. So, it will be Jan that leads now, but he's not pit. Oh, he was ahead of the pit entry when the safety car came out, so he's probably a big loser in that. Look at all these middle league tyres. They're going to be catching up to the hard tyre runners. This is, are they sure they're going to last through to the end of the race? Or do they think there's going to be another safety car considering the state of chaos it's been tonight?
I think the mediums will probably go to the end from this point, but
all right.
I mean, you've got to put your money on there being another safety car. Gio saying in the chat, lap 17. I think that's a pretty decent shout, to be honest, with the chaos that we've been seeing. And surprisingly, we spoke about it earlier, that it was making overtaking easier, but all of the accidents have been started, really, down into turn number 13 of Ascari that we're coming up to now with the race leader.
Absolutely. So, as they all line up behind the safety car once again. Look, it's an Aston Martin 1-2. Aston Martin safety car. Aston Martin Formula 1 car. I'm not wrong.
Two very, very good looking cars as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd think they'd have an Aussie themed car for that's what they should have, local safety cars. You can't have Alpine now because there's no of course Aston Martin at Silverstone because it's right next door. Mercedes would have one in Germany if they ever go back there. Seat safety car in Spain maybe.
Well, you could have a Holden for this race.
Yeah, but Holden, aren't they just import cars?
Have a Holden, what was it called? The sort of the pickup-y truck kind of thing. The Holden Maloo, was it?
Oh, yeah. But I was thinking like Honda would have a safety car in Japan. USA, they would just use the
surely they would use.
Yeah, or Cadillac, or Ford in 2026 when they get there. What else could they have? Ferrari in Italy, obviously.
Yeah, standard. Or you could, technically, if we're going with the theme of the Aston Martin we've got, you could use a Lamborghini Urus.
Oh dear. Any other place that don't have like major car designers, they could just use the Aston Martin Mercedes car. Or the Alpine one if they ever get an Alpine one. Because looking at the state of Alpine, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't. Alpine sports cars are brilliant, by the way.
Yeah, you probably can't use a Renault Espace as your safety car, can you?
Renault Espace F1, remember that from the Gran Turismo 2?
Yes, I do. That is a long time ago.
Are we going to get away? Are we going to get in? Yes, we are. So this is probably a bit late for Jan. As you can see now, the safety car coming in very late, and it's flashing on my screen again. I do apologise. Still doing it. So Jan, on a massive tyre disadvantage, will be leading the field out, and what's he going to do? He's getting right away with the action. He's wasting no time getting away, so he'll be leading us into the second half of the race, and Jano's got a penalty already. My goodness, this is a horrible day to be Alpine.
French Civil War down there in last and second last. It's not ideal at all. Sergio has had an absolutely dreadful restart, by the way, down into turn number 1. 8/10 off the back of his team at Epic Vale, closing all the time down into turn number 3. And a bit of a lock of the rear tyres for Jan down into the hairpin, but just about keeps it on the straight and narrow. Everybody holding position so far, and it's only Janil and Yasir Saki that have come to blows.
Yeah, that was not even before they got to the line. So, oh my goodness, there's a lot of lag on Epic Vale. I'm starting to be worried if there's some lag issues going on. We did test their internet, it was perfectly fine. Now Epic Vale's going to have a chance to take the lead to Jan into turn number 9, turn number 10. He's not going to do it there, and he actually goes wide of the corner he does. So he's not going to have much of a chance when he gets to turn 11. Will he do it? No, he's going to wait it out. And the two Eve drivers switching positions. And that'll be Finley up in 7th. Even Nye had a little peek, but he can't do it. So Leonardo remains in 8th. Evan Nye 9th. Whoa!
Oh, they go up the inside. Even Nye not leaving any time on the table on those brand new medium tyres. Leonardo trying his best to hold it on the inside up through the final corner and onto the start-finish straight. The battle for the lead is changing hands though. Epic Vale very close to the back of Jan. Even Nye surely he's going to get past Ferrari and does.
No DRS at this point because there's no detection zone in between them, and look at how close they are, the top two. They're right nose to tail. But no, he can't do it, and my goodness, near collided into the pit lane, and there's positions back there. That's Zane ahead of Leonardo, and Frank Shawnee now ahead of Spanias, one away from the from the point. Oh no, Jan's got a 3-second penalty in the lead, but he's got a bit of a pace disadvantage, so I wouldn't expect it would make much difference because there's another move there. That's Fraser and Christian making a move, and there's the lead change. The two Hasses take the move, and they're into first and second once again.
Jan's going to get gobbled up pretty quickly, I would imagine, if he doesn't come into the pits shortly, because struggling on very old hard compound tyres now, everybody else on newer tyres, especially the likes of Finlay and even Nye on brand new medium compound tyres. Jan's going to be absolutely defenceless by the time we get to them. A lot of big cluster of cars, once again clattering over the sausage curve. It's the two V-Cubs in there squabbling with the Williams of Santero.
God, I'm not looking forward to Las Vegas. If you saw F1, you'll know. The massive 6 wide, three rows down was mental. But anyway, back to the present day. Sergioli's going to try and take the lead. Christian is in the bad books. He's now got a 3-second penalty. Coleman's got a 3-second penalty. Santero's got a penalty. Everyone's getting a penalty.
Yeah, like they're going out of fashion, everybody collecting them. The two Hasses remain in formation with Jan still in hot pursuit. SRT Christian still shadowing every move by Fraser. Position swapping further back as Leonardo getting over the curve through turn number 5 and almost ending upside down and in the barriers over on the left-hand side. Soapbox on those 6-lap fresh and medium tyres. Just so much quicker, the F3 champion. And
here comes Soapbox on the outside of Leonardo. They're going to go side by side through this swervy straight. Wheel to wheel, nothing separating. Now he's right behind Spanias, and he will have to back off as a result. And Leonardo, there goes Santero out of the race.
There's a lap 17 safety car. Gio got it absolutely spot on. I hope you're still here, my friend, because I mean, buy a lottery ticket after that. That's beautifully done.
And tell me the numbers. Gotta tell me the numbers. Third safety car. Oh,
we got a battle in the pits.
What is that? What is that from Jan?
Epic Vale backing up because he doesn't want to get held up behind his teammate. Janko, I'm not having any of this. Tried to send it up the inside into the pit lane. Sebastian Vettel, but didn't quite get it right. I don't think he got any front wing damage. That's incredibly lucky.
What on earth was that? Anyway, Finley has now taken the de facto lead ahead of Gisorni and Spania. So remember, these top 6, they haven't picked because they already pit in the previous safety car. They say their mediums are going to get to the end and they're going to be superior and stay in front. Well, we'll have to find out because Sergioli and Cole right behind him are all pitted for new mediums. It's like those stage races in NASCAR. Get rid of them.
I think Epic Vale backed up too much because he's dropped behind Jan and Fraser in the process of trying to stay away from his teammate. I think he could have been a bit more efficient with how he entered the pit lane. Gio, what lap are we going to get the next safety car?
And don't say lap 22.
I think it might be a little bit further in the race. 24 or 25, and then we'll have a sprint to the finish, F1 Open Lobby style.
Unless a kangaroo runs onto the track, I think we'll be going in a couple of laps.
24, okay. The fountain of knowledge has spat out another number.
What am I watching?
It's obviously going to be
know.
right. We don't know what we're watching.
A salute to Santero, Chris Rebel and McIlhenny, who are out of the race, by the way.
Pay respects to our fallen soldiers.
They did it for Australia. Australia is a lovely country I have to visit. And I want to see the Grand Prix as well.
We've got a very topsy-turvy order now, don't we? Sergio, the leader of the drivers. The leader of the drivers that came in 7th. Finlay leading the way, who looked pretty racy on that previous restart, has to be said. Franek up into 2nd. I mean, I don't think he's been in the top 5 the whole race. Now finds himself 1 position off the lead. Spanias, who's been in the wars, especially on that restart, was getting involved, let's say, with Leonardo, who's now come off significantly worse, down in 15th. Then it's the 2 V-Carbs who have struggled their way through. Soapbox recovering up into 4th, Coolman in 5th, and then Yasir Saki, who was lucky to still be in the race after getting involved in, what was it, the 2nd safety car incident where he got piled into the wall as an innocent bystander. He's 6th, but he's going to be very, very vulnerable indeed to Sergio, Jan, Fraser, Epic Vale, and etc. behind on their brand new yellow stripe medium tyres. Finlay for the win. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, he is leading for now. So we'll see how it gets on. Just to mention that Fradic, Chishorty, Spanias, and Coolman have all went up 14 spots. George Ansel went down 12. He was the biggest loser. Whoa. Lots of stopping and starting, obviously weaving. You have to weave. Don't weave goodbye, though. So, safety car coming in this lap, so Finlay has it all to do. We're going to be getting start on lap 20. We'll have 10 lap shootouts. Maybe less. If anything more happens, I don't want to curse it or anything, but it will be Finlay that will lead us off, getting the rest of this race underway. There's already been a crazy race where there have been incidents abound. There have been nasty accidents, collisions everywhere. It's just been a chaotic start. It's supposed to be a relaxed start, but not today, I guess. Will Finlay get a great restart? Can he keep Frank DeShawney? Can he keep the pitters at bay? Let's find out. 10 to go here in Australia, and it'll be Finlay that leads him off. Has a 4/10 cushion from Frank DeShawney, and look at all these tyres. Still trying to get the tyres to warmth, but it is Soapbox that's closing in the V-Carb car against the McLaren of Spanias. Coming out, as you can see, further back. Looks like they're all staying put. They've seen what's happened to the fallen soldiers. They're going to stay put, but Leonardo getting very close. He doesn't seem to oblige and tries to close up to Zane, but can't do it. So Finlay stays ahead of Franek and Spanias, and Soapbox heading through to the turns 6 and 7, and it'll be turn number 8 before the long winding road to 9 and 10. And it will still be Frank DeShawney now closing up on Finlay. He's got much better straight line speed, evidently, but he can't make the move in going into the corner. So you have another shot into turn 11. And look at the speed difference between the two. Finlay is not going to make much other than a defence on the inside. And a brilliant overtake for Frank DeShawney. He now takes the lead.
Clean as you like, straight around the outside. Lovely stuff from Frank to push the Mercedes down into 2nd place. I've got my eyes firmly set on Sergioli, who hasn't managed to make any progress so far in this lap, but is very close to the back of the Alpine of Yasir Saki with the 2 V-Cubs sat in formation in front of them. Lap 21, it is absolutely anybody's game to win this first round of the season.
Whoa! Saki has a massive slide out of the 2nd corner, and Sergioli might be handed 6th place to the plate, and he truly is. Into 6th place he goes, and he goes right behind the Coolman in the V-Carb. Oh, and he's been spun around. Coolman has been spun around in the V-Carb, and he's running backwards. What on earth has happened there?
There was a McLaren caught up in it as well. I wonder if it was, well, it must have been Diogo Silva. I think probably has a little bit of damage from clattering into the backwards V-carb car. Fraser dropping down places as well. And yes, the Kick Sauber also with damage. So that was one of the perennial contenders for the win of this race. Struggling. We've got a virtual safety car because Coolman, I think, is going very slowly with no front wing.
Yeah, virtual safety car, so not full safety car this time. And just before it, Finlay took the lead. Just before, wow, what a moment for Finlay. Gets in right with the skin of his teeth and back into the lead he goes, but this is going to cause them to slow up again. Another virtual safety car, that's the second we had, and the fifth intervention to the race we've had all day. 3 SCs, 2 VSCs. As you can see, the lights flashing as well. All of the lights are flashing. I'm sure it's supposed to be the yellow lights are supposed to. Fraser has to pit. The virtual safety car means he won't lose much in comparison. He might be ahead of Coleman. Coleman has to pit. Oh, well, he has to pit, doesn't he? He's got no front wing.
Yeah, he does. I have to say, Sergioli, that's a penalty. I think Coleman's going to retire.
Yeah,
yes.
Sergioli,
incredibly lucky to come off better in that collision between himself and Coolman. He went straight into the back of the V-carb. I don't think there's any damage to the front wing of the Haas car, so the favourite for this race can continue to march onwards. As Fraser now with a drive-through penalty coming out of the pit. Absolutely criminal, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he pits at the end of this lap to retire. But we are going again, and it's now Spanias in hot pursuit of Franek.
And Franek in hot pursuit of Finlay, but who's going to get who first? Let's find out. Franek Deshorny has a look. Can't make the move. Will have to make it into the next corner. 8 to go here as Franek Deshorny and Spanias make their gambits for the lead. As there's a battle behind. Yasuzaki and Jan coming to blows. Franek Deshorny can't make the move. What is this?
Goodness!
What is going on? Sorry if you didn't see all of that. There's a massive domino effect. Everyone crashing into each other. This race takes another spin. And it cannot get any crazier, can it? Can it?
Was that Sergioli again doing the same thing that he did in turn 3 down into turn number 13? Unlucky for some, it was unlucky for the 3 drivers that were very much caught out in that one. And Sergioli once again getting off scot-free. I don't know if it was him going into the back of Soapbox that took Spanias with the pair of them, but the Haas now finds himself in second place, could find himself in the lead down into turn number 3, but doesn't think about a move up the inside into Finlay. Up the inside of Finlay, not
It's going on! I cannot believe what I'm seeing. There are cars crashing into each other, left, right, and centre. These drivers are giving it everything, and that's what we like to see. But it gets over the line sometimes, and that means chaos will occur, and more chaos is abound. As here comes Sergioli, here comes Jan as well, free flight through the stretch, and he's now in a second place.
The other Haas on the move, Epic Vale making light work of Yasuzaki to get the Haas back up to first and fourth after they locked out the front row on the grid. Remember, Jan with that 3-second penalty, not going to be winning this race unless something dramatic happens, and I wouldn't put it past us so far. But Sergioli reclaiming the lead of the race. But yeah, I wonder if the stewards post-race might have something to say with the instance that he's been involved in the past couple of laps.
And now Frank Shorney is in 9th place. With Zane and George Ansel. Sergioli gets the fastest lap. Remember, bonus point for that, although they are removing it in Formula 1 this season. But I don't really care, to be fair, about the fastest lap, but that's my opinion. Everyone will have their opinion on the fastest lap. There's only 2 choices. I don't like it, or I do like it.
Who should we be keeping our eye on now? SRT Christian shadowing every move pulled by the Alpine of Yasuzaki, and even Nye thought about a little nibble up the inside into turn number 3, and that Williams. Finlay with a penalty, Yasuzaki with a penalty as well, once again being handed out like they're going out of fashion. Yasuzaki was slow coming out of the newly reprofiled turn 6 and 7, thinking about a move was SRT Christian. Jan reclaims the lead of the race very, very easily indeed with the helping out of DRS. Is now even Nye versus Christian down to the 11th. She gave the Williams straight around the outside, clean as you like, pushes the Ferrari down to 7th.
What a move that was, but here comes Epic Vale back into the podium positions. And further back, it's Evan Nye that stays ahead. Frank Deshorny gets back ahead of Zane as his teammate still leads the race again, but with a 3-second penalty on his watch, so he will... Oh, my goodness, Frank Deshorny, keep it together, mate. He nearly lost it again. Everyone is putting everything on the line like it's the last race of their life. It's only the first, gentlemen.
Even 9 now finds himself in a podium position. Yasser Saki's wide once again through turn number 1. Is this the Williams driver's opportunity to make a move up the inside? No, not quite, not close enough. Finlay locks the rears down into turn number 3 and has a little bit of a trip wide and then a slide over the curb going through turn number 4. Even 9 still all over the back of the Alpine of Yasser Saki in the battle for 5th and 6th place, with ASRT Christian very much still in it, and Diogo Silva, who didn't get damage from the earlier collision, in there as well. Spanias, his teammate, picks up the fastest lap. That's going to mean Nout being outside of the points.
And let's see what's happening further up. Sergio, he goes back into the lead. But will Epic Vale get past 2? Let's find out. Will he? Won't he? Yes, he will. What a move from the outside. The crowd love it. But now Gian's going to try and get back. No, he can't. He's got no DRS. So he won't get anywhere near further back. It seems like to be a duel between 11th and 12th. There doesn't be many duels there. I think they've learned their lesson on how to keep it clean. But Sergio, he's starting to run away. He's 6 tenths ahead.
Opportunity to bolt. Even Nice got up into 5th place along with ASRT Christian getting past Yasser Saki, but the Williams, as soon as he's got into clear air, has locked his rear brakes into every single heavy braking zone. The Ferrari had a couple of opportunities to get past the Williams, but unable to make it stick.
Unable to make it stick, and now Christian is right behind him. Fraser gets another penalty. He's out of the picture though. So it's going to be Jan. He's going to try and make a move, is he? No, he's not. He's going to have to stay behind for now. 4 to go. Diogo Silva goes to the inside of Yasser Saki and gets 7th place on the track. And now Christian right behind even 9, still trying to catch up. Can't do it right now. Half a second the gap is now. Are the Haas's going to have to do a switcheroo again? Maybe, maybe not. Half a second separates them, but they're going to go into DRS straight. This is dangerous waters for battling or holding position. Here they come again. Here comes Jan, round the outside again. Is he going to get round the outside of the other Haas? No, he's not. He just falls short. And now they're going to come through. My goodness, what a line for Epic Vale. He's going to get that position back. Uh-oh, this could be dangerous if they're not careful. Here they come. They keep it together, thankfully. Sergio remains in the lead, but now Jan's right behind him. He's got a 3-second penalty. So he's basically got hope that both the Haases get a penalty as well.
It is effectively Haas versus Haas. They looked out the front row. Now they're battling for the win, but the only problem is there's an Aston Martin in between them. And Jan is very much the joker in the pack here, and he fancies leading the race potentially down into turn number 1. Not quite close enough. Happy to sit in formation for the time being, retain the status quo. But will he go for it down into the heavy braking zone of turn number 3? Only 2 tenths back. You're using a little bit of ARS. No, he is going to stay behind. Watch for Epic Vale. Will they look up the inside? Thinking about it, was tentative, opting to remain in 3rd place.
3 to go here in Albert Park. This has been absolutely thrilling stuff between all the drivers. Everywhere they go, there's been action every single lap. I haven't even had to get a talking point or monologue in. I've had to keep my eyes peeled on the entire field. And here comes a Sector 3 incident involving Fraser's DNF. Jan takes the lead again. And the 2 Haases swap as well. So now, this must be a move. Surely they're going to retake the position of Jan, but they can't because he's got no DRS. Well, he does have DRS, sorry. Jan has DRS and cannot be tamed by either of the Haases. He's back in the lead, but remember, that's only on track. Oh. What have I just seen?
Sergioli, very lucky not to be out of the race, took way too much of the curb going through the right-handed turn number 14, had a massive tank slapper, just about kept it going and keeping himself in with a chance of winning this race. Finlay's still there, batting away to try and finish on the podium, but his 3-second penalty probably going to put pay to that. It's still Haas versus Haas, Sergioli pushing his teammate through turns 1 and 2.
They can't get off each other, can they, the 2 Haases? A match made in heaven or a match made in hell? We'll have to find out. There's 2 laps to go. Jan trying to run away, but he's going nowhere. He cannot win this race unless the 2 Haases get penalties, but then Emma 9 will win from 6th. This is absolutely mental. If the 2 Haases get penalties on the last lap, then that's it. Or they collide, then that's it. Emma 9 might win the race. They've got to be careful here. How are they going to plan it out? Both have DRS. They're going to gang up on Jan. Oh my goodness, this is going to be disaster. You're not careful. He goes right the outside. Sergioli can't do it. Look who's coming in. God, Finley's coming in. I'm going to lose my voice now.
Neither Haas driver knows what to do at this stage. They both want to be in second place. This time it's Epic Vale into the back of the Aston Martin of Jan. Thankfully, no severe contact or damage. Jan keeping it on the road. Epic Vale up the inside of his teammate into the penultimate corner.
No.
Can't quite force that Haas alongside the other one. And now it's Finlay chomping at the bit to get through. Massive slide on the exit. But it's ASRT Christian that does the same. Here's even Nye as well.
And he keeps it together somehow. He didn't lose it. Final lap here. Leonardo is out. I think he's retired from the race in the pits. Yeah, he's retired from the race in the pits. Now, who's going to take who into the corner? I see Evan Nye trying to make a move on Christian, but Christian's got a 3-second penalty. Why is he even making the move? He could get a podium if he stays there. So Sergioli and Epic Vale look like they're going to win the race unless there is a spoiler play from Jan, who has a 3-second penalty. He can't make the podium. So what is his job? What is he doing? Is he just trying to claim the win for pride? Perhaps.
Well, I think he's just trying to mess with both Haas drivers. Sergioli surely is going to take the lead here around the outside. Epic Vale is absolutely nowhere, though. He might not even get past the Aston Martin and doesn't. Surely it's a free run to the end for Sergioli. Massive slide from Jan coming through the chicane.
So here we come. It's going to be the two Haases that get ahead. And they're going to get a 1-2, it seems like, for this race. And Jan is absolutely struggling. No one else making the moves. I think everyone has made their moves. It's checkmate here in Australia. The two Haases coming through and are going to take a 1-2. Whoa! So when there's Jan, he doesn't have to battle Jan, but it's Sergioli that takes the win ahead of Epic Vale, and Evan Nye gets the podium. And where does he finish? Jan finishes in 5th. Yola Silver gets ahead of him at the last moment. Christian getting 6th. George Ansel and Finlay, the 7th and 8th for the Silver Arrows. Saki in 9th, and Zane finishes in 10th. But it is the two Haases. They started 1 and 2, they finished 1 and 2.
In a different order, though, Epic Vale took pole position, but it's Sergioli who takes the first win of the season. Even Nye with a first podium as well in PSGL F2 on the PlayStation platform. But what a race. Wasn't the cleanest at times, I think everybody will admit that, but to watch it was absolutely enthralling.
Yeah, people are saying DSQ someone, I'm not going to say who, he's taken out 8 people from his own internet. We'll have a look at that later, but let's give them their moment, shall we? Even without the Toyota backing, because not updated the game yet, sure we'll get there, it's a win. It's a 1-2 for Haas. They will have 29 points on their tally. First, second, and the pole position. No fastest lap, I'm afraid. That was claimed by Spanias, who finished last of those who finished the race.
Even Nye, what a podium. Diogo Silva was in the wars, managed to come through to finish a brilliant 4th. Then it was Jan and ASRT Christian with their penalties. George recovering to finish in 7th ahead of his teammate Finlay. Yasser Saki, another driver that was very much in the wars, picking up a couple of points. And TRT Zane rounding out your points paying positions. Franek at one point was in 2nd place. He ends up only 11th. Janel Soapbox, Spanias the last of the finishers. Leonardo a couple of laps down. Fraser, Coolman, Santero, Chris and Killer, the retirees. Killer going out on lap number 2.
Yeah, and that started the chain reaction of safety cars. What a moment. Look at that. 4 Italians in the top 6. 5 of the 6 Italians that were in it finished in the points, and 4 of them were in the top 6. How about that?
I mean, they're going to be delighted about that performance. 100%. What a race, though. What a race. Exciting as always.
They're doing it to me already. They're making me lose my voice. I actually coughed during the race. Let's look at the calendar, shall we?
Yeah, while you just get the calendar up, should we just go through the sponsors very, very quickly? I think that's the best thing to do. GT Omega, powering PSGL. If you head over to their website and use that code PSGL at checkout, you can get 5% off their products, and I implore you get involved in that. And Sim Racing Centre SRC, if you want to get some advice on some strategies, get some setups, or potentially even get some driver coaching, use the same code PSGL at discount. That'll be 10% off.
So we've got 12 races this season. next time we go to the lovely place that is Texas. Of course, it's just hosted Formula One. And then it will be off to Belgium on November 4th. November 11th, Armistice Day. And a special day for me, actually. I won't say yet, but you'll see. We'll be in Canada. We'll go back to Qatar the week after, November 18th. The Streets of Monaco on November 25th. And I think there'll be a night race, maybe. December 2nd, which is the week of my birthday, it will be on the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. The 9th will be the Netherlands. 16th will see us in Saudi Arabia. We'll then take a break for Christmas in the 23rd and the 30th before returning in the new year in Japan on January 6th. January 13th will be in Las Vegas. And the final race will be in Bahrain on January 20th.
What a calendar. What a mighty fine calendar.
Yep, 1 down, 11 to go, but we're not going to Italy at all, which really is sad, not even Imola.
Especially when we've got 47 Italian drivers on the grid.
That's a bit of an overstatement, but I get what you mean.
Think of all the home fans that could be delighted watching Italian, and judging by the performance, they'll be right at the sharp end.
So yeah, crazy race, crazy week. Go tune into F1 right now. It should be starting. Let me just check. If I can get the site up.
Pole position just been taken by SHZ Oscar.
Shazoo Oscar. And the Oscar goes to, well, unfortunately it's not Oscar Piastri. That would be mighty fine for the Aussies. Oi, oi, oi. But yeah, I think we should call it a day. We'll get you watching F1, which is just about to start with Oscar and Paul, presented by Jessica Ball and James Head. I've been Otaka Logan. He has been the T-Dub. We'll see you in Texas for the second round of 12 in this brand new season of PSGL. Until then, I wish you a very good night.
Next week,